Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hipp and Ken Covington.
Well, a pleasant good morning, somewhat pleasant. Welcome to another edition of Good Morning Georgetown right here on 106.7 FM, KGT and LP Georgetown. I'm Rob Hipp alongside my good friend Joshua Harris. Sorry about all the trouble this morning. Josh, man, goodness gracious, when it rains, it pours. We had the FM stream working fine, but we wanted to make sure that it was working on Facebook Live. And I guess apparently something's up with my account because now I can't go live on Facebook. So I have no idea what's going on. So Rob, in the middle of all this, I took apart everything that was up here.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Brought the broadcast in a box here, and then finally determined, oh, wow, I probably didn't need to do all that after all.
Rob, it looks very neat and tidy in here. All the stuff that was all right here when I came in is gone. And no, what a crazy morning. But you know what? Here we are. And so we'll make the most of what's left of the morning, and I'm just excited. I don't think anybody heard me earlier, but thank you for allowing me to come in and be a part of this with you this morning. And this studio that you've been working on over the last couple of months is just amazing. It's going to be so cool here coming up in the new football season. And I'm blessed and privileged to be, as you welcomed me in this morning, the first guest officially in this studio, man, and I'm honored. It really is a cool experience for me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and man, what a welcome. You get to, you drive from Copper's Cove over here, and then you get here early, you pull up, we have everything ready to go, and then at 7 a.m. we're up and running, and then all of a sudden the stream drops, and so what is going on? So that's just the way it goes, man. But anyways, I want to welcome everybody into the show. Thank you for joining us here this morning. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Joshua Harris from the Oak Ridge Disciple House, and we are finally up and rolling. But yeah, it was strange. For those of you listening on FM radio, I know you may hear an echo too. We're still working on the studio here. We've got to put up some soundproofing panels. In fact, the acoustics are a lot worse than I thought because I really hear a big echo. But we'll get all that fixed as well. But man, it was so crazy, Josh, because we went on the air. Everything was great. The FM stream was great. But Facebook just kept dropping the Facebook Live. And we use that because we like to be able to talk to our friends. They're on Facebook Live as well. But that stream kept dropping. I was like, what is going on? I thought it was my computer. So I disassembled everything.
Started over. Basically started with a fresh, clean slate over there.
Yeah, I should have went with the broadcast in a box. It's trustworthy. So I thought, okay, cool. So I took down everything off the studio desk, put the broadcast in a box up here, and it was doing something totally different. It wouldn't even let me connect.
Had nothing to do with the issues you were having before.
Nope.
Literally 30 more issues popped up.
And so that's why we're live on Facebook under the Good Morning Georgetown page, because I guess I'm in Facebook Live jail now.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Something's going on. And you won't get a response, so you have no bond.
Yeah.
You're on a no bond Facebook ban.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the way it goes. Well, Josh, good to have you here this morning.
Oh,
man.
I
appreciate
it,
Joshua Harris from the Oak Ridge Disciple House.
I'm thankful.
We're excited to bring you this show every Wednesday morning, and hopefully by next week, the rest of the technical difficulties will be taken care of. We'll have the soundproofing in here.
Well, you know why it will be okay, because we will come down and get the rest of it.
That's
next
right.
Wednesday.
We always get the rest of it.
Next Wednesday.
Well, Josh, good to have you here. While you're chatting this morning,
yeah,
I'm going to put you on the spot, brother.
Okay.
I want you to talk a little bit about what you guys do at Oak Ridge Disciple House, because you're a sponsor of what we do here on SHN and also on Good Morning Georgetown.
Yeah.
But a tremendous organization. I wanted to give you a few moments to kind of reintroduce folks that maybe have heard about it before, and then for the new folks, introduce it for the first time. Just about what you do at the Oak Ridge Disciple House. While you're doing that, I'm going to grab a different microphone.
Yeah, you bet. So thank you, Rob. And let me just say first that the partnership that we have with you, Rob Hipp, and also SHN Sports and all the other avenues that you've got, we just love it. And over the last year and a half since we started partnering with you and doing all the different advertising with you and sponsorships, we have just seen so many incredible reach outs to us from people that want to know more about what we're doing, have a loved one that is struggling or at a place to where they want change in their life. And so we just thank you for that. I'm so glad that God put us together, that you had me on last year to share my testimony and talk about what we're doing. So for those of you that hear Oak Ridge Disciple House and proud supporter and, powered by and all of those things that Rob talks about with us on the different events that he's doing, Oak Ridge is first and foremost a Christian character building outreach house for men. We focus on putting families back together, but our focus mainly is on men 18 and up who struggle with life's hurts, habits, and hang-ups. My specialty, my heart is, of course, drug and alcohol addiction, because for 15 years, for the first 34 years of my life, it was just a madhouse. But for 15 years of that 34 years, I had a severe cocaine addiction where I just destroyed everything that was good in my life around me. And just horrible, horrible addiction that I couldn't beat. And, I'm not afraid to talk about it on here or anywhere, and I know you're not afraid at all, but Jesus Christ that came into my life and transformed my heart is the only freedom that I have ever found. I tried all the different rehabs and treatment centers and all those things, and those are great for getting sober for a minute, but the only thing that truly works when it comes to addictions and choices that we're making is a changed heart, and how we see that struggle in our life, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be drugs and alcohol. It can be, self-worth or doubt or, anxiety, depression, all the things that we struggle with in this world. There's only one avenue for true success and longevity, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ coming in and transforming your heart. And that's what we focus at Oak Ridge. We help men come in and not only get clean and sober and cleaned up, but we help them to really start to see their hearts and their lives and their futures the way God sees them, that He loves them, and no matter what they've been through. And so what we are is we're a 6-month in-house Christian character building program for men 18 and up who have come to the end of themselves, who've tried all the other ways, and say, you know what, I'm ready to give God an opportunity to really change the way I see myself, to see my addictions, see my struggles, forgive myself, all the things. And so Rob, and it's just been awesome. And I just want to say, in case we don't have an opportunity because we have a shorter time tonight, or this morning, I have 3 beds open right now. And so if you know somebody who's ready to change, and I'm not talking about, put a Band-Aid on it. I'm talking about a real heart transplant. Please call me, 512-905-2111. And we don't turn anybody away because what they have and what they don't have. I don't care about your money. I care about your heart. So, Rob, thanks for letting me share a little bit about that this morning.
Well, Josh, always appreciate you being here, buddy. I switched out the mic. I think this one actually sounds better.
It does sound a little bit better. There's not so much of a reverb. So.
Yeah, it was weird. That other microphone is actually way better, but it had the reverb. But, Josh, man, I got to tell you what you have done with the Oak Ridge Disciple House and such great work there and helping these men. I had an opportunity to come out on a Thursday night program that you have called Testified, where you just get to hear the stories of some of these men, and you don't hear the stories, in a big group setting. Really, you may, but when I was there, I heard more of the stories on an intimate level, getting to eat with these guys.
That's right.
How many know when you break bread, you're always making friends? Man?
Jesus said, "If you feed them, they will come."
I can't. That's why. That's why I
he's
grew up
cooking fish on the beach, man. So
that's why I grew up at a Baptist church.
Yeah.
I remember, and to this day, and I'm just joking.
We are teasing, but
yeah. But
I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead. I got a story to tell you though.
Well, so when I got saved and got born again and got my taste buds back, because of course cocaine just kills your taste buds. I gained 100. This is no joke. And Rob's seen the picture. I gained 100 pounds. When I really got involved in the Baptist church. And it could have been in any church, but man, there's just, we love to eat. So I put on 100 pounds. I've lost it and I'm in good shape again, but man, I'll tell you what, I put on a lot of weight in the Baptist church. So, yeah.
Well, I was blessed with the opportunity to go to Main Street Baptist for many years, 13 years.
Love Ernest over there, Pastor Ernest, amazing.
And Ernest Jones is there now. Know him, great man.
So cool.
But I was under the pastorship. Pastoral care? How would you say that?
Pastoral care is good.
Pastoral care?
Yeah, shepherd. He was your
my shepherd. There you go.
Yeah.
A man with just an unbelievable heart for God, unbelievable heart for others. a man by the name of David Edwards, and I miss him dearly. In fact, you'll hear me a lot when I come on the air. I'll say "friends welcome" or "friend." It's because Dr. Edwards always said that word, and it stuck with me from the time I was a kid.
So good.
And someone even said, "Why do you call everybody friends?" I said, "Because I want everybody to know that they at least have the opportunity to be a friend." You know, there may be some people you don't want to be friends with, but you know what? I want to approach everybody. I want to approach my audience, not just on this show, but anything that we do, and even in life. When I'm just talking to, I want to approach any person, especially someone new, with that comforting word of a friend. You know, what is a friend? A friend is someone that's there for you. It's someone who cares. That's my definition of it, and you know, I want people to know that, and that's the way you are, Josh, man. When I think of the nicest people in the world, and I'm not buttering you up this morning because you've already given me the check.
Yeah,
so now,
I already write the check, man. I already write the partnership.
But in all seriousness, you know, there's two men, and I'm not knocking. I know a lot of great folks, but there's two men that I know of when I say, man, those guys are probably the nicest guys in the world. You and a guy named Pete Cruz, man, Mr. Brennan, my fiance, soon to be father-in-law, one of his best friends. You and him, I think, God, those are the nicest guys on earth, man.
Yeah.
and it's true, though. You want to be a friend to people. So I appreciate your friendship, brother.
I appreciate your friendship as well. And you know the way I always look at a friend, and you probably heard this, if you call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning because you got a flat tire, if you called 5 of them, which one would answer the phone? Which one would say, I'll be right there? Which one would help you come change it, man? That's a real friend. Jesus said, hey, I'm a friend that sticks closer to a brother, and we can never be like him completely, but a little bit more each day. And so, man, I appreciate that. I didn't used to be a good friend to anybody. I used to be a drain and selfish, and what could I get from you? And now, man, I just live my life to say, you know what, how can I help somebody today? How can I be a blessing? Like Pastor Dan, we'll talk about another pastor from Crestview Baptist Church, taught me this. He said, I wake up every morning. He says, I want to be a blessing from the tips of my toes to the top of my head. And if I do that, I'm going to help somebody in between.
That's awesome.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
So I try to live that way as well. I'm not perfect, but, man, I try to be a little bit better each day.
Man, well, if you saw me earlier, you'd know I'm definitely not. I don't try to be, and I never would try to be, but, man, with IT problems, brother.
Yeah.
Gotta kind of. I'm glad you were here this morning.
Yeah,
because we may have some, you know, some scratches and dings in the walls here at the new SHN.
And I told him, you know, he's like, man, I'm ready to. I said, listen, you have worked too hard and too long to make this place so beautiful and nice. Don't destroy it. Yeah. So, man, but we're here, and we're glad you're here with us as well. And Rob, thanks for having me, man.
You bet.
And thanks, Ken, for taking your break and getting your recharge so that I could come hang out with Rob this morning. And we hope you're having a great time as well.
Yeah, well, going back, originally scheduled to be on at 7 a.m. Of course, a little technical. That's what I love about community radio. We're all in a community. And, if we have a little difficulty, we're not going to have big corporate saying, what's going on? We just got to work through it. But here's the thing. I did feel bad, Josh, because you came all the way from Copper's Cove, man.
Yeah.
You're in the Cove, brother. Yeah. You know what I love best about that? This is why I was destined to know you. I'm a huge, huge, huge Robert Griffin III fan. And how many know that Robert Griffin III went to school there in Copper's Cove?
And has, absolutely.
So you already
know this, has a street. Robert Griffin III Street.
I would actually like to go to that street. Take a picture.
I'll take a picture for you and I'm gonna send it to you.
I'm gonna message him. I actually bought a Baylor helmet. Baylor Bear.
Baylor Bear. Boy, I tell you.
A Baylor Bear helmet. Man, that came out kind of country. Baylor Bear helmet and a little mini helmet. And I've got the address to where to send it to and a picture of him. And I want to send that with a UPS return label to show that I'm serious about getting it back. And hopefully he can sign that for me. Man, that would be awesome.
You know what? I bet he would do that. If you took the time to do that, you'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so I'll send you a picture, man. You want me to take a picture for you?
Yeah, I would love that.
I'll do that. I'll do that. You'll have that over the next 24 hours.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, again, appreciate you joining us. I'm Rob Pipp with Joshua Harris of the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Live this morning from the all-new SHN Sports Broadcast Studio here in Georgetown, Texas. Excited about this facility. We'll do some of our shows back at KGTN Main Studio downtown. But for this one right now, we're still working, and it's kind of a test day as well. But for those of you out there on the radio land on 106.7 FM throughout Georgetown and some other parts of Central Texas, the signal reaches. Again, thanks for joining us. The SHN, well, I say the SHN text line. It's actually the Good Morning Georgetown text line is open this morning. Feel free to send us a text. Let us know how we're coming in, and let us know how your morning's going. You can text us at 512 512-9105. Again, that number's 512-522-9105. We'd love to hear from you this morning. Hey, I always like to give shout-outs to those that are joining us on Facebook.
Absolutely.
I was kind of bummed because we don't have as many follow. Like, I use my personal Facebook account kind of as a, I guess you can say as a like a business account as well, because I like to bring people in and really show them kind of what we're doing in hopes that it'll impact them in a positive way. That's why we do it. But this morning, for whatever reason, having to stream through the Good Morning Georgetown page, we still have a lot of folks joining us. David Cody, man, to this day I haven't met you in person yet, David, but David, a long-time former retired sports anchor there in the Austin television market, always enjoyed his awesome coverage of sports and just a heart for and a passion for his job. And so, David, appreciate you. He's actually chiming in this morning, and he had said he said this morning that he said, I need to come speak to your group, Josh. So maybe you and David can get together.
Connect with me. I may even be connected with him, because a lot of people, of course, connect with me or you, and then we connect with them. And I mean, I've met so many great people that you know. And so, David, I'd love to talk with you about that and get you scheduled for a Thursday night Testify, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome to be out there at Testify and just to be there. You know, it's amazing to see these guys and to see the servant's heart that they have. You know, that's what was cool, man. I'm so used, and for me, it's always been really difficult because I've kind of, and some people think it's rude, and I don't mean to come across that way, but it's just, I've always been one that it's like, okay, here's something in front of me, I'm just going to get it done.
Mm-hmm. You're driven for sure. One of the most driven guys I've ever met.
Well, and and I don't say it really, but there's a lot of things in IT that people want to help with, but it's kind of, I'm not good at teaching how to help with that.
I ask you all the time, because I hate sitting here because you're going nuts, and then I'm sitting here if you always notice, even whether we're at a football game or a baseball, what can I do? And you're like, dude, just got to stay out of my way right now because I can't show you how to do this. You just have, and so it feels awful that I have to just sit, but that's how you are, man. So and you're not rude about it. Just go, listen, I just got to get it done.
Yeah, and so I guess what I'm getting at, that was kind of just, it's been imprinted in my brain since I was in junior high, because just been just going crazy since then, and so it was awesome because I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like, hey, I'll go put my plate in the sink. That's just, I'll go take my trash out. It was uncomfortable for me at first, and not in a bad way. It was a good way.
Right.
Because those men at the Oak Ridge, they were like, man, let me go put that plate up for you. Let me go. And I'm thinking, like, I can do that. But then I was like, you know what? These guys have a heart to serve. They want to serve. And I don't want to steal their joy of not letting them do that. And so, it was awesome.
If I could just talk just real quick about and why that's so important to us. We teach the guys 3 things. And we'll teach anybody that comes into the discipleship 3 things. We keep it really simple, but it's life and death. It's every morning surrender. You got to surrender to whatever God's plan is for that day, for the rest of your life. That's what we do. Surrender, and that's the first S. Obedience, not just to every day and the law and all that, but to God's will and plan for your life. So be obedient to His will and His word, and then serve. SOS. Wave that white flag every morning and say, God, I can't do this, but you can. SOS. And that last S is what you're talking about, serve. So that's why these guys won't let you do stuff, because they go, listen, I've been serving myself now for whatever years. Mine was 15 years.
Yeah.
We got guys in there 5 years, 10 years, 15, 25, 35. Been serving myself. If I continue to serve myself, I'll go nowhere. But if I serve you, that's where the blessing comes from. And so that's big that they're doing that. And I'm so glad to hear you say that's something that impressed you, was that they wanted to serve you. They wanted to wash your feet. Because if we wash other people's feet, man, that's where God's mercy and grace and blessing comes in. So service is big.
And the good news is I take good care of my feet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, well, again, friends, appreciate you joining us here on Good Morning Georgetown. Rob Hipp alongside my good friend Joshua Harris of the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Josh, if folks want to get involved, we talk about Testify and what you guys do on Thursday nights. But there's more to it than that. These guys are getting up before the crack of dawn. You always hear, I get up at the crack of. These guys are getting up before the sun rises, and they're taking care of business, and they're just really trying hard. I always, with your spot, whenever I say it, and the reason we can talk to you in depth about this is because you're a 501c3 nonprofit, so we can definitely talk about what you're doing since you're a nonprofit. But one thing that I always say in our spot that I do for you guys is there's light at the end of that tunnel. Oak Ridge can help you find that light. And I think it's so important because a lot of these guys, because you've been in that situation. I haven't been in that situation that deep. And I've been involved in some things, but it hasn't turned into an addiction. But it has been, some things that I probably said, man, I better step back a little bit. And I'm just being transparent. Me, I'm transparent.
Great. Yeah, you bet. And you have been.
And everyone needs that light, man. And the light of Christ that's shining through your organization and what you're doing. And it's cool because you're bringing in some guys that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that may not even be Christians really, right?
Absolutely. I would say, Rob, I could honestly say that we have about a 70-30 split. So 70% of the guys are were either raised in the church and just kind of fell away, or played around like I did with religion and church. I always say for the last 5 years of my addiction, I played church really, really good, headed straight to hell because I knew how to speak Christianese. I knew how to raise my hands at the right time and say amen. And when somebody introduced himself or said, "How you doing?" I say, "Too blessed to be stressed." And I knew what to say, but I had no real transformation in my heart. And so I had no light. I was still living in the darkness. And you're right. So about 70% of our guys know the name of the Lord, as even, or could be saved, or had made, had prayed a prayer, but they've never really truly surrendered. About 30% come and say, "I don't know anything, but I know it's not working my way. Something's working your way. Show me the way." And we say, we're not going to just show you the way. We're going to show you the way, the truth, and the life, or the light, like you said. And so that's right.
Awesome,
until we're out of that darkness, we can't stop bumping our head. And we teach these guys to walk in the light all day, every day, and stay on that narrow path. And so, and it works. I'll just give you, I'm not a big numbers guy, but I do like to brag about what God's done. We have 116 graduates here at this house in Florence. And then we have another house down in Conroe, and we have 72 down there. And Rob, at this house here that I started the Lord let me start about 9.5 years ago now, we have 117 graduates, and we have 91, not just clean and sober guys, 91 serving the Lord.
That's awesome.
That is unheard of in the recovery world, which is about 10%, 5 to 10% success. Down there, about the same, but we have about a 75% success rate down there. Jesus works, man. The light works.
That's awesome. Josh, it was cool coming out there on that Thursday a couple of months ago. And, I'm thinking, oh, you got so much property out here. And so the first thing that pops into my mind, man, you got room to build more facilities. And I like what you said. You immediately stopped and said no.
Yeah.
You said, because we don't want to be just one of these facilities where people just come and go. We want to interact with these guys on a very deep, intimate level. And you can't, because if you get too big, you can't interact.
Man, people say it all the time. They're like, "God, you could put 100 beds out here." I said, "Yeah, you know what?" And I'd have about 90 of them running amok and falling through the cracks. I said, "I got 10 guys." We really have 12 total that we do. So it's a good number. 11 plus me makes 12 disciples in training, because I'm going to be in training for the rest of my life. I'm never going to arrive and stop growing and being discipled. And so
now, was that 12 on purpose? Think about it, because it's a biblical alignment.
God kind of showed us a good number with the 12 disciples. And so that's kind of where we were. So we have 11 in the house, and then me makes 12 every day. And then we have 4 staff guys. I could put a ton of beds out there and make it all about how big we are. I don't want it to be. I want it to be that small, intimate group where each group that comes through, we have 2 groups that come through a year, because it's 6 months and 6 months. I want them to be a family. I want them to be a unit. I want them to feel that closeness with each other. I want them to get to know each other and understand that we're all different, and they're going to have to deal with differences in the rest of their life. And I don't want it to be too many. So we have that big, beautiful 25 acres for them to enjoy and explore and get out there and get alone with God. But man, I think small groups are what really works, because you can do life together and people don't feel like they're outcasts and they're pushed to the side. So you're right. We're always going to keep our houses small.
That's awesome, man. Well, again, the Oak Ridge Disciple House, more information online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. That is oakridgedisciplehouse.com. I know the show, normally we cut it off at 9. We may go a little extended time. I know it's only 8:47, but we want to make sure that we get everything in today. Again, speaking with Joshua Harris from the Oak Ridge Disciple House. You are listening to Good Morning Georgetown here on 106.7 FM, KGTNLP, Radio Georgetown. Hey, I put out a challenge earlier. I said, if you're out there listening, text me. I got one message. So there's for sure one person joining us on the FM signal. I know quite a few others on Facebook Live, but my good friend who does so much for us at SHN and more importantly does so much for the community as a captain of the Georgetown Fire Department, Mr. David England.
Oh, Doppler Dave in the house.
So Doppler Dave out there.
We love you, Doppler Dave, and thank you more than anything. We tease you a lot, and we love you, but man, thank you for your service to our community as a first responder. You are amazing, man, and I've known you for years and years and love you, buddy.
Yeah, David, a great guy. So thank you for that text message. Again, if you're out there listening, we'd love to hear from you. The phone number 512-522-9105. Again, that number 512-522-9105 to send us a text message and let us know. Ken Covington out on vacation. He was listening in a little bit earlier. Miss you, Ken, and hope vacation is going well. I wanted to talk more, too, about some of the folks that are here on that YouTube stream. I know that David was joining us. Dave Cody, appreciate you. Sharon Vasquez-Boyd, appreciate you, Sharon. You have responded a lot to a lot of our posts and what we're doing here. Just with Good Morning Georgetown, saying, Mr. Josh Harris, I have only known you in passing, but you are always kind and personable. You do great work. May God bless you in all your days.
Thank you, Sharon.
So appreciate that. And,
so wonderful.
Man, I got to say one other thing. Frank Miranda joining us. Frank works with APD, man. So, Frank, good to hear from you. Thank you for your service.
We pray for you every day, buddy, all of y'all.
He said this weekend, the 7-on-7 football travel squad down to Corpus Christi for the state qualifying tournament on Saturday. You know, if we are so blessed that the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association reached out to us the first time and asked us to cover the All-Star games on Saturday. Then they said, oh, wait a minute, we have a sponsor who's going to cover it. Sorry. Which is okay, and then they called back and said, "Hey, that sponsor can't do it. Can y'all do it?" I said, "Hey, you know what, man? First time blessed, second time blessed. We'll take it, man.
Every opportunity." And those kids are awesome.
So we'll be covering the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association. There's 2 All-Star games.
That's gonna be some fantastic baseball.
Some of the best ball players. Some of the best ball players. I don't want to say like the best of the best because there's some kids that I think are awesome that aren't going to be there as well.
And we don't want to exclude anybody, right?
But some of the best in the state of Texas from 1A all the way to 6A. Now, there's not a 6-man baseball team like there is in 1A football. Can't have 6 men. You got to have 9.
You got to have 9 out there.
6 would be kind of crazy. It better be a small field.
I think anyone with 6, I think any one of us could place the ball on that field.
So the cool news is these games will take place 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. from the Dell Diamond. We'll be broadcasting that live on SHN Sports. So excited about that opportunity. Kids from all over the state, not just Central Texas, Josh, but all over the state will be there. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be a great morning of baseball. Hope y'all can make it out and check that out and support these young students.
Because I was, after the first time, and then we found out, hey, we can't do it just because the sponsor was going to do it. Then I was like, okay, cool. I'm probably going to head to Corpus, and then I got the message said, hey, y'all can do it. I said, okay, great.
So you were going to head down for a little.
I wanted to go see that 7-on-7 because man, we got a new Coach Griffin now with Georgetown. Of course, Coach Dean. What a man he is, the athletic director.
Many changes, man. Coach Dean, we're going to miss you, but we're glad you're still here.
So I finally got an opportunity to meet Coach Griffin when we covered the FCA All-Star Unity Bowl just this past weekend. Got to meet him. What an outstanding representative of Georgetown High School football that man is. He was here in 2012 and then moved on, and he was athletic director in another city. Then he came back here to Georgetown to take that head coach job.
Yeah, a lot of change, man. Yep. A lot of coaching changes. Lots going on.
Not just at Georgetown High School.
Either. Florence just, of course, Coach Bodie in Florence just went over to Marble Falls, and he's their new head coach. And so we're looking to see who's going to step into the Florence football role, and a lot of moves this offseason. So it's going to be fun to watch, see these new teams forming.
Yeah, so excited about that. And then over at Eastview, new head coach Jared Feacock. Excited to get to know Coach Feacock. I had a meeting with him, and we're really looking forward to, I know that Eastview has always kind of felt like maybe some of the school stuff there is left in the dark. For us on SHN, it definitely hasn't been. We've been trying to promote what we do. We've actually, in fact, I talked to somebody, and they said, thank y'all for doing our games this year. I said, well, respectfully, we've been doing the games for 4 years.
I heard you mention that. Yeah.
And so we're excited because now there's going to be some exposure, hopefully, that is reciprocated because we have been covering those kids in football for 4 years now. And really, we just want to be able to share, because our story at SHN is this. It's real simple. It's we empower schools and organizations to help promote their student athletes and events. That's it in a nutshell, man.
That mission statement right there is amazing, and I've had so many people say, it's so awesome. I couldn't make it, and to be able to see my child or my grandchild or whatever, and reading the responses from the other team on the YouTube stream and things like that, and they're so thankful that you're doing this for the community. It's very rewarding, just from the gratitude standpoint, Rob.
Yeah, and what I was getting at is it's all about promotion of the kids, man. That's why we do what we do, and why other organizations exist. We want to promote the student athletes, so it's really huge to do that. So again, excited, a lot of opportunities happening, a lot of things going on in Georgetown. Of course, we try to highlight those things here on Good Morning Georgetown. And I'm looking forward to being active and doing this show again every week. I know that we went on like a 3-month hiatus.
It's summertime now. It's time to go.
It's time to get rolling. Most people say it's time to relax. I say it's time to get going, baby.
Yeah, well,
let's get it going.
I'd like to offer anytime.
I'd love to be here anytime, Joshua Harris. Let's get it.
Ken needs to be out. I'd love to fill in with you and be a part of this with you.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to having Josh here every week now. Ken, thank you.
Ken, I love you, man.
Just
thank you,
kidding,
Ken.
brother. Well, Josh, Ken normally does this day in history.
Yeah.
So I know you've got some fun things to chat about.
So we don't have a lot of time, but I did pull, Ken, I just want to let you know in honor of you, I did look at the 12th of June, and it's not to sound ugly, this was a very boring day, the 12th of June in this day in history, but I did find a couple that were interesting. Shared this with you this morning. In 1931, Al Capone, he's an old gangster, one of the original gangsters, the original OG, Rob. Al Capone
Bad OG.
Yeah, not a good OG. Al Capone was indicted on not 50, not 500, but this is no joke, 5,000 counts of prohibition laws breaking and perjury. 5,000 counts.
Wow.
That's a lot of cases to cover.
5,000.
Yeah, 5,000. That's a lot of cases to cover. Also, 1942, this one is really interesting. My daughter would love this because she's so into the Holocaust and just learning as much as she can about, because they studied that in 5th grade this year. Anne Frank gets her diary that she's so famous for as a birthday present in Amsterdam in 1942. Man. She received that diary that she started to write in. In 1954, Nelson Mandela is sentenced to life in prison. We all know his amazing work and those kinds of things. Life in prison in South Africa. And then the last one that I thought was interesting for all of us sports nuts, and especially since we're just finishing an incredible Georgetown Eagle Fight Never Dies baseball season. John Lee Richmond in 1880 pitches the first ever, Rob, Major League perfect game. And it was Worcester 1, and Cleveland was called the Forest City. Cleveland's Forest City 0. So John Lee Richmond pitched the first ever in 1880 Major League perfect game. And that's this day in history. I've got some fun facts. If we get to them, I know our time is a little bit more limited this morning. I can do them next time, but I got some fun facts if you want to lead into that a little bit later.
Let's see if we can get Mr. Vacation Man on the phone real quick.
Yeah. Oh, Ken,
let's see if we can get him.
Yeah, let's see.
Hello, is this Ken Covington?
This
is Rob Hipp and Joshua Harris live from Good Morning Georgetown. We just thought that we'd cold call you, buddy. Yeah. How you doing? We got
Ken Covington on vacation, buddy.
We got a lot of stuff for sale today, sir.
It's like I'm not getting any phone calls about, is my guitar ready for pickup? did my set of strings come in today? I'm not getting any of that.
Hey,
I missed it.
I actually called you. Ken, I actually did call you. Did my strings come in, and is my guitar ready for pickup?
Yeah. Ken, my son is going to pick back up the clarinet again for the 10th grade. Just wanted to see if you had any good ones in the shop right now. Decently priced. I'm a faith-funded minister, so any good clarinets there at the shop?
He probably has them. We can't endorse them, Ken. We can't endorse them, Ken, here on community radio. But we know. How you doing, buddy? I had to call you. I hope we didn't wake you up. I know you're an early riser.
Where is he anyway?
Yeah, where are you at?
We're just outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas right now.
Okay.
Yeah, up around the Ozark Mountains. I don't know if you've ever been up here. It's pretty,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful area up there.
Well, I sent you a weird text a second ago. You're probably like, what does that mean? I said, hey, I just texted you. I'd like to call you. Hey, buddy, I'd like to call you.
Well, I knew what you meant. Are
you with your son, or who are you on this trip with?
Yeah, with me and my son. He's still asleep.
I love that you take those trips with your son, man. I love hearing about them. I love you making those memories. I take a trip called Man Cave with my two boys every summer, and we're exploring the whole country together. So I just love that as well, that you know that that's important for you, but also for him, man. I love that, Ken.
Well, you're welcome. And yeah, it was funny. I was thinking, and Rob mentioned it last week. We'd like to have you on. And I remember I was driving across Raton Pass last time we did this. It was a year ago, this time.
That's right.
Cool.
And so, man, thank you for your rest time. And it gave me an opportunity to come on and share a little bit more, get everybody kind of caught up and share a little bit more about what we're doing out on the mountain. And so thanks for the opportunity, Ken. I appreciate it. I mean,
no, you're welcome, Josh. Yeah. And I was listening here, and like I was thinking when we had you on the radio show like a year and a half ago, you were making I was holding back the tears, just your story of yourself, you know, and then listening to what you're doing for the community is my eyes were watering again this morning. I'll have you know, just thinking about you and the sacrifices you've made in your life to help others.
Man, I tell you what, that encourages me, Ken. Thank you so much, and it spurs me to keep on doing it. And as long as God will let me, or tells me to do something else, I'm going to keep on helping one man at a time find this freedom, and then put his family back together, hopefully.
Yeah, but very good. I mean, I haven't visited out there yet, but I would like to someday.
Ken, I would absolutely be honored, and we do it every Thursday night, and so you can pick one. I would absolutely be honored if you would just come out and do some music for us sometime. We have a time of music before the speaker comes up, so we do a potluck from 7 to 8, and then we do 3 or 4 songs. I mean, I would love for you to just come out and play some music for us, and then have our speaker, or even if you wanted to share that night, but definitely come out and do some music for us anytime you want.
That'd be an honor to do that. It would.
Maybe we could get you to do music, and then Rob to just kind of encourage the guys one Thursday night.
I could just sit there. You don't smile.
No, but you have a story too, man. You know, we all have a story to tell, and it's important for others to hear. Hey, listen, there's hope where it's hopeless, and so we'll put some. We're definitely going to put something together for the fall coming up, or the winter, because I'm booked out through spring and summer right now. But we're definitely going to put something together. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know.
We'll do that.
Well, Ken,
we had a nice cool front go through here this morning, and it was thundering and lightning and everything. It's heading east, so.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Is what's the weather like there? And you just it's got to be beautiful, man. Where are you at again? In the Ozarks?
I'm outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas, northwest Arkansas. It's in Ozark Mountains up here.
How far is Bentonville from there?
How far is where?
Bentonville. Isn't that what it's called? Bentonville, the home of Walmart?
Gosh, I don't know.
I think it is. Bentonville, Arkansas, I think is the home of Walmart, man.
I don't know. I have to look at the map.
I think they still have an original, like the old Sam Walton 5 and Dime or whatever it was called store.
Awesome
so I think there's a museum there that you can go to.
Yeah, if that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Okay.
So... Well, anyways, Ken, I wanted to chat with you. Hey, before we let you go, buddy, can you give us a good old Georgetown weather update? This weather update brought to you by?
Let's see here. This weather forecast is brought to you by. I'm cheating here.
Ken Covington on vacation.
Hello, Georgetown. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ken's Guitars on Square. Beautiful downtown Georgetown. Your weather for Wednesday, June the 12th. You expect partly cloudy skies in the morning hours. Giving way to sunshine in the afternoon. Winds are going to be out of the north about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Going to keep a slight chance of rain in forecast. Expect a high of 89 degrees on your Wednesday afternoon, a low of 67 as you wake up on your Thursday morning.
That is
buddy, I needed that.
Amazing. Ken, I want to leave you. I don't know if you got to hear, but I honored you this morning. This day in history, June 12th, not real big, not a whole lot, but I wanted to leave you with one music one that maybe you didn't know. This day in history, Mariah Carey's debut album entitled Mariah Carey is released. So there's your This Day in History music fact.
There you go. And I heard your other Just Day in History too earlier. I heard that too. I appreciate it.
Okay, good. Well, I wasn't sure. I saved that one for you, though, Ken. Just for you, buddy.
That made me feel good.
There you go.
All right, buddy.
Yes.
Well, hey, be good out there. Tell Jordan hello for us. We'll have to have him back on sometime for the kids speak. Man, we got to get that going. I'm looking forward to it, buddy.
Hey, we pray right now, Ken, over you that Lord would keep you safe and keep your son safe as you travel around.
Amen.
All right. I appreciate y'all very much.
All right, brother. Be safe, buddy. Good to hear from you, Ken.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
You bet.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See, we got to get Ken on regardless. I
have
said,
to.
man, we
It's
got
not
to
a
get him
show.
on.
It's
and,
not Good Morning Georgetown if Ken doesn't come on and say hello and give the weather at least.
That's right. That's right. So beautiful morning. I'm kind of in the spirit of, man, let's just start calling people here on Good Morning Georgetown.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? So,
not?
well, what else is going on? You know what else is this day in history?
Yeah.
I got to say,
Oh, that's right, Rob. That's right.
Josh wrote this. If you're watching on the Facebook stream, on the folder here, it says Joshua.
Yeah,
Joshua, because I kept calling him Ken.
Yeah. So
this
now he's
day
got-
in history,
There it is.
12 years ago,
Yep.
I joined Facebook.
Yeah, that came. It's so weird. All these fun facts and this day in history, and it was the strangest things. I'm looking through, and it literally said Rob Hipp joins Facebook 12 years ago today.
That's crazy, man.
And I couldn't believe it. I mean, out of all the billions of people, Rob Hipp comes up on this day in history joining Facebook 12 years ago and blessing Facebook. And I think because we mentioned that earlier, that's why they shut you down.
Yeah, it probably was. It was like, whoa, man, this guy's eating up all of our bandwidth here on Facebook. So,
I mean, because as soon as we talked about it first time when we restarted everything, Facebook went nuts. So I don't know what that was about.
I have no idea. I think I'm in Facebook jail for live streaming.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. I mean, immediately it says you can't connect. Well, friends, time now 9 a.m. We'll stop and rewind. We're going to stay on just for a little bit longer here. Normally we sign off at 9 a.m. I don't think there's any other scheduled programming besides sponsorship and all of the wonderful folks that make Radio Georgetown possible. We're going to step aside because we got a late start. We'll chat a little bit more. We've got some more fun things to go over with this day in history, some fun facts, and also news and information from around Georgetown, Texas. Stay with us, friends. We'll reset. You're listening to Radio Georgetown. Good Morning Georgetown here on Radio Georgetown, 106.7 FM, KGTN LP. We'll be right back in just a few moments. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hipp and Ken Covington.
Good morning, Georgetown. It is 9 a.m. If you're a business owner and your employees aren't at work and you open at 8 a.m., discipline time.
They're late.
They are extremely late.
You know what I teach the guys, Rob, and I learned this years ago, even when I was in a mess, I still did this. I teach the guys, listen, if you're supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, If you show up at 9,
you're late.
You're robbing your employer of about 30 minutes because it's going to take you about 30 minutes to kind of get settled in and get your head right and get your coffee or whatever. So I tell them, listen, you get there 20 minutes early before you. If you're supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, you get there at 8:40, and you're not robbing your employer. And they look at that and go, this guy really cares about this business and what I'm doing. So be early, Rob.
Hey, you know what I always said that I said this, but I don't think I ever did. Maybe I just thought it. But I think I did tell a couple of former employees way back in the day, and former because they moved on to other jobs. But I said, if you are 5 minutes early, you're on time.
Yeah.
If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're fired.
Yeah, there you go.
Booyah. Bam, you're done.
Did you just pull booyah out
Bridget,
of the bag?
Bridget taught me that. Booyah.
That's way back.
Love you, Bridget, if you're listening,
yeah,
sweetheart.
Bridget. Good morning, Bridget. Thank you for allowing us to invade your property.
Yeah. Well, hey, good morning, Georgetown, right here on Radio Georgetown, 106.7 FM, KGT and LP. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Joshua Harris of the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Also, a presenting sponsor of this show. That's not why he's on here. He's on here because I love what Oak Ridge does in the community. A lot of folks love what they do. He's a 501c3 nonprofit, a faith-based Christian character building ministry, helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know needs help, there's light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. This show also presented by Ricky Poe with Georgetown Jewelry, located in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center. Josh, good to have you here this morning. I'll let you chat just again a couple of moments about Oak Ridge for those that are just joining us. We're going to stay on probably till about 9:20, 9:30, and then we'll shut her down here today. But again, appreciate you being here, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, Rob, let me just give you a little praise this morning for the ads that you do during all of the events that we sponsor. That during the playoffs, the ad that you put together and just the incredible words of encouragement that you put together for Oak Ridge Ministries that played, especially during the playoffs, was absolutely perfect. It was amazing, and it wasn't that you were doing it for the sponsorship that we were doing. The heart that I heard in you talking about what we were doing, man, it touched my heart. I listened to those ads every time that they play, and I was like, man, he really is encouraging people to know that there's hope and help out there in that light. And so I just want to say thank you for the great job you do putting those ads together for us and really giving us recognition for us supporting what you're doing as well. But so Oak Ridge, just so you know, is a 6-month in-house Christian character building program for men and families who are broken from drug and alcohol addictions, but also, about 10% of our guys just come because they're just going nowhere. They're not making good choices. They're, got quitters and procrastinators and people that are just so into themselves. They're just like, you know what? I need some direction. I need some light in my life because it's just dark. And so we help anybody who really who can do it. Not everybody, Rob, can put life on hold for 6 months. But most guys that are involved with drugs and alcohol, it's kind of my specialty in my heart, there's nothing going on anyway that's good. And so putting life on hold for 6 months over the last 20 years that they've thrown away is nothing, and they're willing to do that. So if you can do it, we want to help you find this freedom in Christ that we found. You know my story if you've heard it. Most people do in the community. I spent 15 years of hell and trapped in a cocaine addiction. I went to a place like this 14 years ago, just celebrated 14 years, Rob. On May 22nd, I celebrated 14 years
That's
of
awesome, man.
not being clean and sober, more of serving the Lord and getting to do His work, and got to go back to Denver City, Texas, where God sent me to my disciple house, and got to spend the weekend out there. I try to do it once a year and go out, and I got to speak to the church that God used to save my life on Sunday morning and preach the word and share a little bit of my journey, and go back out to the property where the disciple house was. It's not there any longer. They demolished it and closed it down. It was just an old rundown building at that time. But I got to go back and put my hands in the soil and just fall on my knees and just thank God for all He's done for me. And that's what we want to do at Oak Ridge. We want to give men 18 and up an opportunity to meet this Jesus that saved my life and saved so many. Give them 6 months alone with God and other Christians who know what they're going through. And then also put families back together. And if you have a loved one who's a female and is looking for help, we of course focus on men, but we do have houses that we partner with that we use, one down in Houston and then one in Amarillo. And so if you have a female 18 and up that really is ready for help, please call us 512-905-2111. We'll direct you in the right direction for your needs. All we care about, like I said, we don't care about your money. We don't care about, it's not about that. It's about helping people find freedom from their hurts, habits, and hang-ups, forgive themselves, forgive others, and we want to help you do that. So, Rob, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you. Appreciate the fine work that you do at the Oak Ridge Disciple House. I may have Karl Schoening coming on here in just a little bit. I know he's on the way because he was going to meet with me this morning after the show is over. And I told him,
of a family right
well,
there.
well, I told him, I said, we're still online because we got started a little bit late. So maybe we can get him on the show, man. That'd be kind of cool.
That's the partnership there. That's why we're able to do all we do with SHN. So you and him.
Well, Josh, fun morning this morning. Not really, because
Yes,
the IT problems. Until we got started. Once we got started, it's been great, man.
Yeah. It's just, things happen. You said this morning, you said, what's going on? I said, life's going on, man. I said, here we are in this beautiful studio. Yeah, we got some technical issues and we're not on the air. I said, but people are out there right now going through all kinds of issues and problems. Not to be, a downer. Or there's accidents going on. There's flat tires going on. There's people going late to work that are going to get fired this morning. And here we are having a blast, talking to people about hope and happiness and encouraging people.
How cool is that?
How cool is that we get to do this for our life today?
Love people. Love people. I love people where they're at.
Yeah, man.
I love for them to get to where they want to be, but I also love people where they're at. Man.
Yeah.
You got to love people where they're at. If you don't, you're not going to make an impact.
Love God, love people, and encourage others to do the same. Man, that's what it's all about. And that's what we're getting to do right now. Even with all the technical stuff.
I just threw it on the floor.
We're moving, man.
Moving, baby.
Yeah.
We're
coming down and getting the rest of it, Rob, and that's all that matters.
Oh, man. Well, no problem. Hey, man, I feel kind of bad, too, because I had messaged Mark Stinnett. Thank you so much to Mark and Renee. Without them, 106.7 would not exist here. We wouldn't be able to do this without them. So thank you, Mark and Renee, for bringing this station on the FM airwaves to where we are blessed with the opportunity to do this show. We couldn't do it without them. And I messaged Mark earlier, and I said, man, tons of issues this morning, still trying to get on. Either my computer is crashing or Facebook Live is having issues trying another system. He said, sorry, I am in Alaska and 3 hours behind. You just got up. Man, I feel bad. That means that that means I texted that guy at 5 a.m. Yeah. Sorry about that, Mark.
Yeah, Mark, sorry about that, buddy.
I had no idea.
A lot of people watching
Mark is
awesome.
Mark is so awesome. And I'm not trying to butter him up either. But he has taught me so much that he doesn't even realize just about radio. Because, my passion's always been broadcasting and radio.
God has gifted you, man.
He has taught me so much. And I still haven't even got my hands on actual radio studio equipment, I guess you could say.
Hey, you're doing the best you can, one piece at a time, and that's how you build an empire, so to speak, for God's glory.
When you said one piece at a time, I started thinking of Randy Phillips, his song One stone of hope at a time.
That's it. That's
Build
it.
a bridge of love between.
Come
on, Josh, sing. Hold on. Do you know that song? Build a bridge of love between us.
I know who sings it, and it ain't me.
One stone of hope at a time.
Here, let me get real.
Come on, baby, sing with me.
Let me give you this. Here's the deal. At the Ridge, and we have that big, beautiful place that you saw.
Yes, sir.
Here's the deal. 14 years ago, I met the man, and you know him, John Hargrove.
That's a good man,
who owned that place. And he invited me out just to do youth ministry with him. He helped me. He took me under his wing. He was my first mentor when I came home. And I cleared cedars, and I picked up rocks one stone at a time, and I did all kinds of grunt work out there, not knowing, Rob, that one day the Lord was going to allow us to buy that place from him and have this
How cool
house.
Is that?
I mean, so one stone at a time, literally.
Build a bridge
Building
of love
a bridge between.
You don't know that song?
I don't. I wish I did because I want to sing it with you, but I can give you some help.
Hey, come on, man. You don't know it at all, do you? Come on, Josh.
You know, I don't, but I love the words to it. And look who just walked in: the man, the myth, the legend,
Karl Schoening.
Are you kidding me?
Here
right now?
live. I said, Karl, we're doing a broadcast, the first guest in studio, and I said, Karl, you got to come. What's up, Karl? How you doing, buddy?
I'm glad I could save the audience from you singing a cappella.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to
Trying to help him
I was
out.
trying to add some stories to it. And yeah, thank you, Karl, for coming.
Yeah,
Shutting that down quick.
I hope
no
you weren't,
worries.
I hope you weren't listening on FM because it was some bad singing coming out of my mouth, man.
no worries. Yeah. What song was that? I didn't even hear it.
It's
One stone at a time.
Or one brick or
One brick. Or
yeah, because
one dream.
It's a Christian singer. His name is Randy Phillips.
Randy.
I'm Randy Phillips from Austin, Texas. And it is Randy Phillips. Or am I saying his name backwards? It's Randy Phillips.
Oh, you're talking
Phillips,
from,
Craig,
from
and Dean.
Phillips, Craig, and Dean.
Yeah,
That's right.
It is Randy Phillips, right?
I think so.
Oh, I'm going to feel so bad if it's not.
Yes.
Because that's their last names. It's 3 men. But anyways, he has this song, and he goes, my grandpappy Pop taught me you can either be a barrier builder or a bridge builder. I want to be a bridge builder. Let's build a bridge of love between us. One stone of hope at a time.
You know what I love about you is you can go through all these stressful moments in the morning and going through all this. You were literally ready to throw the whole computer system out the window, punch holes in the walls, and now you're singing with such a joy in your heart and your eyes. Build a bridge. I want to be a bridge builder. I don't want to be a barrier breaker or whatever you're talking about. So I just love that, man. I mean, just.
Hey,
that's good, man.
And I'm going to tell you something.
That's good.
Little TMI, Tums will really help with that.
Yeah.
To get rid of all that stress. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Well, Karl, good to
Love
have you.
that,
What are
man.
you up to, Karl? Man, well, I said come at 9. We're going to go have breakfast, and then we're still on the air because we didn't get started till late. So how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just, came on in, and you guys were like, come on to the show. And I was like, I had no idea I'd be on radio this early morning. I woke up an hour ago.
Be ready in all seasons is what we live by there, buddy.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I don't necessarily know what. I just walk on in, and y'all are singing, and now I'm on the air. So, yeah. So
That's what happens.
You never know at these studios, man.
Hey, what Josh and I say is get in here, get the rest of
Just
it.
come on down here, Karl, get the rest of this.
So Karl, the story about that is just so
you have to know.
So the whole thing,
So
it's really stupid. It started as I heard a story at church from a former minister where I used to go to church at, and he said, they have these revivals, and this is where the phrase "get on down here and get the rest of it" started from. Is this guy from Louisiana? It was a minister down there, and he was having some sort of a healing revival. And which I'm not knocking. I think some of that stuff's cool. But think of a man from Louisiana, okay? This Cajun minister, and there's a guy in the audience that supposedly is diabetic. And I'm not knocking. I know that's a terrible, terrible disease. I'm not joking about that. But the guy was diabetic, and supposedly, imagine a really heavy set guy, because he was. And I'm not saying it because he was diabetic. I know a lot of people who aren't heavy set that are diabetic. But I'm just saying a heavy set guy wearing like a white T-shirt with his belly popping out of the bottom of it, and his belly has belly hair, okay? The minister is pointing at people, and this guy is like, I feel the healing, I feel the healing.
Yes, he did.
And
Caught the spirit.
And then here's the Cajun minister saying, get your old hairy belly down here and get the rest of it, calling him down to the altar.
I'm getting the visual of this guy in
Yes.
those old Schimmel shirts that we used to wear in football, the half shirts.
That's it.
It's probably from high school still. He's 42, still wearing it. You know what I mean? It used to fit, but so he told me that story.
So now
laughed.
Josh and I say
So
that
now
all the
it's just
time.
it's kind of our catchstuphrase now. Come on down here and get the rest.
Come
of
on
this.
down here and get the rest of it. I guess because there was more healing to be given. So get your old hairy belly down here and get the rest of it. Stupid.
Karl, you don't know what you've walked into this morning.
I'm not sure at all.
We appreciate
We've talked about Al Capone, 5,000 counts
this
of
day in history, Karl. 5,000 indictments against Al Capone came down on this day in history.
prohibition.
Because of everything going on in Chicago?
Prohibition and also his perjury charges and things like that, all the things he was involved
purgatory
in.
charges.
Purgatory charges, yeah. Could you imagine being the lawyer for Al Capone?
Not guilty.
On
all counts.
just not guilty on all counts.
Yeah. Hey, let's just get this over with and not go each individual count.
5,000. Hey,
Yeah.
you'll enjoy this one, though, Paul. To this day in history, and I don't know if you know this name or not, but John Lee Richmond pitches the first ever major league perfect game in 1880.
Oh, wow.
First ever major league perfect game. He played for Worcester, so it was 1-0 against the Cleveland Forest City.
Man, there's only like 21 of those, I think, so that's kind of crazy. And what year?
1880.
1880.
Right after Josh was born.
No, Ken.
Right after.
We meant to tell you this morning that we found a great first this day in history on your birthday in 1880. Even though today's not your birthday, 1880, your year, buddy.
Okay.
Your year.
It is Randy Phillips, by the way. Mark Stinnett
Sent you in?
He said it is Randy Phillips.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
We're just trying to build bridges.
We're just trying to
I got to
build
play
bridges,
that.
love.
You know?
Yeah, I need to hear that. I'm going to hear that. I'm going to listen to that when I get back.
I don't know if I have the
truck.
license rights to play that.
No,
Carl,
we probably don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to be careful.
He's quick, man.
See, I think I got
absolutely not.
I think I got put in.
See, he's the one that keeps you centered and grounded in what's
That's
what
right.
you're supposed
He
to
actually
do.
does.
Yeah.
Because I'm ADD and I don't take medication for it, which I was diagnosed 10 years. There's transparency.
There are times where I raise
don't
my
take
hand
it.
and it's like, Rob, we're going to have to go back to where we were starting this conversation.
You remember
because
where
it's
we-
all going off
the rabbit
track.
trails, right? And yeah.
Carl says, "Don't get down here and get the rest of it. Put the rest of it back in that cage."
Yeah, wind it back in, buddy. That's good. We all need somebody like that. I got a great associate director, kind of keeps me centered in the right areas, so that's great.
Now I was going to say, Carl, as you walked in, you caught my eye, of course, on the right side because you're coming through the door right there. And I looked over, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't read your shirt, and I was like, "Why?" And Josh will like this. I don't. You wouldn't. I said, "Why is he wearing a Houston Rockets T-shirt?" Because the colors.
No. Just my dad went to Berlin and Istanbul with the Spurs when they were in the preseason, so he kept the Berlin shirt and he gave me the Istanbul shirt.
awesome.
Oh, that's
See,
awesome.
Yeah, these
but
aren't
it
even,
would be
yeah.
more awesome if you were wearing a Rocket shirt.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's a lot of times.
Wow, you talk about basketball. What about Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so sad.
God.
Because that's the best
Heartbreaking.
player in the league, arguably, out for a whole year.
I mean, at least they're saying
9 months is probably like the low end of a recovery time for an Achilles. So if he comes back in March, but it looks like that's probably going to be a whole year because he's a 30-something. I think he's like 31
and that's
now.
the thing that we're talking a lot about yesterday is will he, and he's so awesome, but will he be still the player that he is with that kind of injury, even though the technology and everything's so great nowadays? You just never know because we've had Kobe went through injury like that and some of these other guys, and they did okay, but they weren't the player that they were. And so that's what breaks my heart for him is he's just on top of his game, and to have something like this happen, bam, bam, it's just sad, especially for a Longhorn fan, because he's a Longhorn, and you know what I mean. So
Yeah, well, I think that is the thing. He's going to come back, and he's still going to be 7'1" and ungodly long, just so long that we don't know what to do with him.
I know it.
But is he going to probably be the creator off of the wing that he's been? You lose a little bit of that first step. You do. But the fact is, he could change his game. He can become more of a post-up player, and he's still going to be silky smooth shooter. Like, that talent won't go away. So he'll still get a max contract. Like
that's what's thrown this whole thing into
Yeah.
crazy. Is what's going to happen now and what's going to happen with the NBA with Kevin Durant because the element of his decision has, and in the injury has affected so many people that in trade deals and all those kinds of things. I mean, it's just everybody's going, what in the world am I going to do now?
I still think he goes to New York. He makes $38 million next year just to rehab.
May have to say hi.
Come on down here and get the rest of this nonprofit, Kevin Durant.
For those that are listening, and most people know, but Kevin Durant, of course, Golden State Warriors in the finals, former Longhorn,
lifetime Longhorn.
Snapped did it snap, Carl? His Achilles? What was it?
It's an Achilles tendon tear or a rupture.
You saw his calf muscle kind of fluctuate. That was so sad.
Because the calf muscle and the Achilles tendon are attached, so they separated. Yeah.
Oh God, I can't even imagine.
So like they're gonna have to go in there in surgery and in a weird way basically staple it back on. Yeah. And then
that's
the
coming
rehab
down there
sucks.
and getting the rest of it right there.
Yeah, and you know what was distasteful is fans from a certain team that has a dinosaur as their logo were cheering about that. And here's the thing, that player that went from San Antonio over there, he got injured in the playoffs. So you better be careful cheering when people get injured. Not a classy move, but then you don't want your star player to get injured because if he's injured, you're not in the NBA Finals. Let's be honest.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I think
Crazy.
a lot of fans regretted that when they heard about the severity of it, because I think people were assuming that maybe he just re-injured it.
That's what I thought. I thought he re-injured the injury, and then they were like, no, this is completely. I was like, oh man, horrible.
Yeah, really rough way for his season to end, and then he was going to be the topic of conversation this summer. He'll still be in a way, but it obviously is not going to be as impactful if he stays in Golden State or if he leaves. And not getting too technical, but it's going to be hard for the Warriors to keep everybody because they have Draymond Green coming up as a free agent. Klay Thompson will be a free agent. Kevin Durant will probably be a free agent. And you just can't pay all of those players. It gets into what's called the luxury tax in the NBA, and you're talking about probably on paper the payroll is somewhere around $150 million, but at a certain point after like 120, you pay dollar for dollar extra, and then it multiplies to like $3 per dollar extra, and it'd be like half a billion.
This ain't baseball, baby.
Oh,
It would be like $500 million for 4 years of having those guys stay together. So I don't think the Warriors don't want to keep them. But
we understand how much money that
it's
really
so
is
much money,
for 3 players.
I'd like to
Four
go down there
players,
and get the rest of it.
I mean, are you kidding me? We're up here trying to pay electric bills. You know what I mean? And build additions, and we're talking about $500 million.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about putting solar on the roof of the studio.
I mean, come on. That's my goodness.
Well, Karl Schoening joining us here.
Carl's got that last name. I love to hear you talk sports, man. It's amazing.
Karl Schoening in here in studio. Joshua Harris. You're listening to Good Morning Georgetown. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live. Also, Radio Georgetown, 106.7 FM. KGTNLP Georgetown. Hey, as we talk sport, we don't get to talk sports a lot in here, so that's why I'm glad you're here, Karl.
Yeah.
One thing that I did not want to overlook, the last time we were on, last Wednesday when I was flying solo, I was saying Georgetown Eagle baseball has a shot at getting in the state championship. Not only did they won the semifinal game, a heartbreaking loss in the state championship game, but man, hats off to the Georgetown Eagles.
That's right.
Baseball team for the second time in school history getting to that state championship game. The game?
No.
Karl was, though, and it was a sea of blue, man.
Yeah, but it was so hot that
The second game,
I would say half of the fans actually stayed in the shade underneath. So it must have been, I think the heat index was like 108, but in those seats, because they're like plastic seats that were just baking all day, must have been like 20 degrees warmer in the seats that were unoccupied. So I was in the home run deck that had the nice shade, and that was where a lot of the fans migrated eventually. But when I went out to just try and sit behind the ballpark, I couldn't sit behind the plate or down the baselines because it was just too hot.
Skin started bubbling.
Yeah, it was a very, very hot day.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable. I can't even imagine. It had to have been 110 down on the field for those guys,
and
at least.
And the Heritage high school team was wearing black.
Oh,
and I was like, who made that decision? You know? So that was they were wearing black hats and black jerseys, but at least they get to cool down every inning in the dugout as well. So it probably evened out for them. But, yeah, that was a very hot day. And Heritage had, 3 players drafted? So
one of them first round. Bobby Witt, Jr., first round, second overall pick. Then they had another player. The catcher was drafted. I think they had 3 or 4 in the MLB draft.
That's just tough to overcome because going from high school to being able to play professionally is just another level. It really is.
Bottom line is Georgetown Eagles had an amazing season.
They did.
They just came to hit. I mean, that team just hit. We've never seen anybody hit Georgetown.
It was the
like
most
that.
well in the state tournament. In the state
18?
tournament, that set a record for the most hits. Now that 6A game, I think that was like 21-0. Did you see that game?
I did see it was at South Lake Carroll.
It was just tragic.
How did they even get to 21?
Because you don't get.
So there's not a run rule.
No, until you get to 5 innings.
Oh, wow.
It was like 15.
Oh, that's right.
Doppler
Dave sent us and said, "Hey, you're not going to believe what's going on here." That's right.
Yeah, Craig Way was on the call. That game was on Fox Sports, the Fox Sports 1, I think, the equivalent of ESPN Plus, if I'm not mistaken. But it was on TV, which was cool.
Just a bashing as well. So, but bottom line is, Georgetown Eagles baseball. We are so proud of you. An amazing, amazing season. It was so fun to be a part of, and we can't wait to see and be a part of next year's team.
Hey, so this day in history, I'm not sure the years ago, but a very important event happened when President Reagan was over in Russia or the USSR, and he told President Gorbachev, this day in history, it may have not shown up. Now, someone relayed this to me, so hopefully it's true.
Okay.
Mr. Gorbachev,
Tear
down this wall. That happened. Reagan told him years ago. Pretty awesome story.
Huh, I thought that was in November.
Yeah, so if someone sent us that and the wrong information,
we will find you.
we will find you.
I'm not going to finish.
Was that Liam Nielsen?
Yeah, and I will.
I have a very interesting set of tools. We will find you.
Yeah, because you would have thought something with Ronald Reagan, because he's such a loved president, that would have been in.
Oh, it was June 12th.
Okay, there we go.
1987.
We apologize.
Thank you for that good information.
Great information. You just
it's when he said it. I think the actual process might have started like in November, because I remember one time when I was in history class, like I read about that, and it was the same day. Like, I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, wonder if they have that scheduled. They didn't, but yeah.
I remember I was 3 years old, and I was glued to the news. And no, I'm just kidding. I would not remember.
Hey, listen to this. 2018. I didn't even see this when I missed it. 2018 is interesting because it's pretty current. 2018 Singapore summit between North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump began. So
that was already a year ago.
A year.
Wow.
That's what threw me too. A year ago already. I mean, this guy. Think about this, Rob. I know you want to talk about politics on this show. You try to stay, but we're coming into another presidential election.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
How does it happen that fast?
I mean,
Life just goes by.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, just a few more minutes here on Good Morning Georgetown. We wanted to touch on some of the local news and local events going around, and some of the local encouragement. Our good friends just to our north, the Jarrell Independent School District, Jarrell ISD, very proud to share that their own high school assistant principal, Marie Grigsby, has been named the Texas Association of Secondary Principal Outstanding Principal of the Year for this local region. As the regional winner, Ms. Grigsby eligible to compete for the state title of Texas Assistant Principal of the Year. She has served as the AP at Jarrell High School since 2016, previously a teacher and coach for more than 10 years, earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Mary Hardin Baylor, Joshua Harris.
Go, crew!
And her master's degree from Lamar University. No one.
No.
Here.
Crickets.
But hey, you know what? Congratulations. What an awesome award and recognition for Miss Grigsby there. And Lamar is a great college. I don't know a lot of folks who have went there, but to get your master's degree, that is a lot of work.
Yes.
So congratulations, Miss Grigsby, on that coveted award.
Congratulations.
You know, Dr. Chapman won that award as well, I believe, as the superintendent. He won a Superintendent of the Year award. A lot of great things happening up there in Jarrell, and some good folks. And, you know, Josh, you do a lot with the Florence, and I love going to those smaller communities. Just great people,
We love
man.
it out there in Florence. We really do. My kids have, they've got their mama's brains, and so they're amazing students. They've got their honor students, and we love the smaller classrooms, the smaller feel. And I know a lot of folks like the bigger schools, but we just enjoy. It's a great community out there in Florence, and it's growing. It's not as little as it used to be, but it still will always have that country feel to it. And we just love all the teachers and everyone involved with our students out at Florence. So thank you for another great year.
Appreciate all of our friends throughout. You get to do a little bit of PA work.
I do.
Too.
So I do all the middle school stuff there at the stadium, and then I do JV. JV, because we don't have a freshman team, so we have JV and varsity, and so I do the JV Thursday nights out there at the stadium and have a lot of fun getting them hyped up, playing music before while everybody's kind of warming up, and then throughout the game, calling the game and things like that. So messing up names, that's the hardest part. I mess up a lot of names out in Florence. But I tell them that from the very beginning, please, if I mess your name up, please accept my apology now. I'm going to do the best I can, and don't come up here hollering and screaming at me. You have to, because
you'll get those. We know.
David, listen, it is unbelievable.
It happened to me at what was that, Senton? I was covering, that's a fun story, but I was covering Senton football back in the day and their playoff run, driving 10 hours back and forth and, probably losing money on the deal, but I enjoyed doing it. But here's the deal. At one of the games, Carl, I had to, at these small schools, there's not room for you in a press box, or if there is room, the floor of the press box is falling out and they say you can't be in here. That's what happened at this particular game. I think it was a Lavernia. For one of the playoff games. I'm in the middle of the opposing crowd on the home team side, but the opposing crowd And, I get too excited. I'm always screaming and hollering
So
for
good.
I'm a big-time homer for the teams we call for.
Yeah.
So I'm getting excited. Sinton is obliterating this team. And I'm like, there they go again, another 30-yard run. It's unbelievable tonight. And all of a sudden, this guy, because I'm in the opposing crowd, he turns around and I'm serious. I don't know if I ever told you. Turns around and throws one of those little plastic footballs right at me. Pegs me with it.
Yes.
And told me to shut up.
I'm doing a broadcast.
And I just went like this. I went, whoop, turn around. And I kept broadcasting. It was pretty hostile, man,
Wow. No, I hadn't heard that story.
Small town Texas, plastic footballs. The thing is it hit me up here in the head. It actually kind of stung a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't. I
Those
didn't
little
say any
footballs
bad.
that the cheerleaders throw
Yes,
up, right?
and
yeah.
they're soft on the sides, but if you get that corner,
Oh no, you get it. Yeah,
you're gonna get the rest of it,
Yeah,
man.
you're
When
gonna
that
get the
thing
rest of
hits.
it. He wasn't playing. He probably had a son out there playing, and they're getting killed, and he's just not wanting to hear you any longer talk about how good the other team's doing.
I had at the Gerald State Championship at the Alamo Dome. We got to call that game the semifinal. They didn't make it. They lost that game, but what an exciting basketball season that was a couple years ago. And there was a kid's name that I had said wrong on the opposing team. A lady heard me. I don't know how, because that place is huge, and there's a pretty good separation between the press row and the first row of crowd. This lady jumped over the barrier and grabbed my shoulder and said, "You're saying his name wrong."
We have a correction, Rob, just coming in about the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It says November the 9th, 19. That's when it came down.
That's what I was saying.
That's when it came down, but whenever the announcement was made was on this
okay.
day.
The actual. That's what I was saying. The actual quote was today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you for that,
Gorbachev,
Gabriel.
tear this wall
He's
down.
like,
and
hey,
that's
let's
what
do
I
this.
was saying. It was in November because I was in school. I remember that.
Perfect.
So he and I were on the same
That's
same
right.
wavelength, but that's when it was.
Okay.
Josh, what's your best Reagan impersonation? Can you say that in a Reagan, like, Mr. Tear down this wall? Can you try it?
I don't think I ever actually. Oh, you got it.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
It sounds like some guy from West Texas. Mr. Gorbachev, can you come right down here now?
That's more like Bush, isn't it?
Can you come down here and tear down this here now wall?
Tear down this wall and get the rest of it now. Let's get,
Who practices a Ronald Reagan impersonation? I feel like that doesn't go
you
over
did it
well.
pretty. Yours is pretty good.
2019.
Yours is more like a Ronald Reagan, what's his Sean Connery combination.
Action.
Jackson Jackson. I'll never be able to hear the name Jackson, no matter who it is, without hearing you go, Action Jackson.
Yeah, because Jackson Cioso, who played
Oh,
baseball,
God.
love that kid,
Football,
love that family.
everything. I mean, I'm cursed. With
Yeah,
that
he would
last name.
step up. Even in football, we'd always say Action Jackson. But if you're not careful, it kind of comes across like this. Sean Connery's like Action Jackson, and you
So-
can't stop it.
And then it just was every time.
Action
And so
Jackson.
now I can't hear it, no matter. I was in the doctor's office the other day, and they called Jackson, and I heard the nurse say, Action Jackson.
Oh, that is funny. Well,
Yeah, I'll have too much
Having
fun
a
on
good
those
time.
Georgetown games.
Oh, yeah. We have too much fun, man. Hey, Georgetown news here as we shift focus before we sign off here in just a few minutes. This out of the Williamson County Sun newspaper. Our good friends at the Georgetown Health Foundation. What a great organization. Another nonprofit, the Georgetown Health Foundation. That was formed many, many years ago with some of the original leadership of doctors here in Georgetown. Back when Georgetown had the hospital before they sold to St. David's. The Georgetown Health Foundation awarding over $1.6 million in grant money.
beautiful.
Some of this money it went to nonprofit organizations. Some of the organizations receiving these grants from $15,000 all the way up to $200,000. It includes Any Baby Can, the Boys and Girls Club, Brookwood, and Georgetown. Man, these are all great organizations. Faith in Action, Goodwill, Backpack Buddies, Georgetown YMCA, the Habitat for Humanity, Hope Alliance, Literacy Council of Williamson County, Opportunities for Williamson and Burnett Counties, Ride On Center for Kids, Samaritan Center, Spirit Reigns, Starry, Texas Baptist Children's Home, The Caring Place, the Christie Center, the Georgetown Project, and the Salvation Army of Williamson County. My goodness, what an impact Georgetown
impact.
Health Foundation making on these organizations.
Wow, I mean, that is amazing. And so many of those that you mentioned there, I just support and pray for and do such great work in the community. So praise the Lord for that.
Some other information here, some classmates, and these are all out of the front page of the Sun. We like to go over a few of these articles, bring them to you. Again, coming out of the Williamson County Sun newspaper. That is out today. If you have the digital edition, you get it early. You get it on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
So I actually get it a day early, but then we read a little bit here.
Will you be able to pull it up on your computer though?
Oh yeah, you can.
Are
yeah,
you sure?
which is
Because
cool. Yeah.
your computers are having some issues.
Yeah, let's. It's working now. Fifth graders spread kindness on the square. Again, this is paraphrased here from Williamson County Sun. Story by Kimberly Stack. Earlier this year, with free lemonade as part of a class project for the community, there was a young man here that had an accident. Wes Wilburn, school students. Wes Wilburn severely injured in an accident. And after the initial project, Judge Bill Gravel challenged the students to expand their project for a greater good. After about hearing of their friend's accident, these children, Grant, Connor, and Braden, decided that there was their opportunity to step up and help Wes's family. Wes was involved in a head-on collision on May the 30th in Liberty Hill. Currently at home, and he's on the road to recovery from back surgery. Just an awesome job here. These young men there with a lemonade stand for Wes to help him and his family. That is just tremendous.
That's
I
fantastic.
love this
I heard about
community.
that accident, and we're praying for that young man. Horrible accident that he's encountered and went through now. So pray for that family. And there's lots of bills now and recovery time. So,
well, a lot of stories here. Of course, the sports stories. We talked about Georgetown in that state game, doing a great job and reaching as they can. We'll have Southwestern University football here on SHN Sports coming up
Pirates.
this fall. Coach Joe Austin, optimistic as this new season nears for the Pirates. They will open up play in Shawnee. I think that's Tennessee. Is that right? Yeah, that's not Mississippi. We'll be flying to that game on – I need to know because we're going to that game.
Wow.
September the 7th. That's an away game in non-conference play. So the season for the Pirates will open up on September the 7th. We're excited about the upcoming season and the opportunity to work with such an awesome coach.
So y'all are going to be
Joe
traveling
Austin.
big like that with them and going out of town?
Some of these games, yeah.
Wow,
but
that's amazing.
We're going to fly to one game. Some of them will ride on the team bus, but those larger games, we're only going to take a crew of 3 because the costs are, especially in a Division III school too, the costs are just way too high.
You bet.
To do that. But Southwestern, of course, ended 2018 an overall record of 6-4, 5-4, and Division III, highly regarded American Southwestern Conference. Is that right? ASC?
No, it's
yeah, that's not right.
Southern Athletic Conference. Southern.
ASC is the conference. I thought it was American Southwest.
That's
I guess
right.
it is.
It
Yeah,
is because of course the number one team in the nation for Division III is also in that conference, and which is the UMHB Crusaders. Go Crew. That's my alma mater. Thank you.
And I got to get Josh Karl. He went and helped us with the Southwestern game last year.
I had so much fun, Karl. It was
yeah.
Because I got to be up where I've always looked up and go, wow, I wish I could be up there. And then I was up there and I got to meet all these great people, and I wore my Southwestern gear.
I was there.
Of course, and did you see? Did I pull my shirt up and show you the national championship shirt that I had on underneath?
No,
that was such a fun day, and I was showing all the coaches. They were like, "Yes!"
At the Mary Hart and Baylor game. That was a lot of fun. But listen, they're crazy good.
Oh, such a good program.
I hear they get like 600 recruits sending them stuff,
wanting to be a part of
they have a JV team as well,
and that's what makes them so great, because they have that JV team that's constantly building, and so he's teaching them a year or two before they ever even come onto the team, and so it has such a pool to pull from. He's built an amazing program there, and we just love him. So Pete, glad he's coming back again this year. He's getting up there, and he thought about retiring, but with that national championship again, he said, nope, I'm coming back again.
That's amazing.
It's exciting, man. Exciting.
Well, good stuff. Hey, this is the yesteryears. You know how we do this day in history? This is kind of the yesteryears. So tomorrow, this day in history, this is from the Williamson County Sun. I love these because it gives you a glimpse into the past. These yesteryears are actual news stories that were in the Williamson County Sun newspaper.
Okay, that's
so
fun.
To see the writing style, this is word for word. Again, the yesteryears from Williamson County Sun newspaper. Steep fines set for killing fish. Okay, listen, I just love how laden the writing was back then. June the 13th, 1919. This out of the Williamson County Sun from June the 13th, 1919. From and after this date, I am calling on all parties to respect and not violate this law, and further will appreciate your assistance in helping me to see that this fish law is respected. The following penalties are imposed: killing fish by poison, dynamite or other explosive.
That's my favorite.
Oh my
That's my favorite. My favorite. That's the only way to fish, man.
Killing.
Who needs a net when you got a stick of
Oh
dynamite?
my goodness! Yeah, exactly. I can't even, this is ridiculous. Who kills fish with dynamite? This is in Georgetown, man.
Yeah.
Just let him float up to the top. Throw it in.
Oh my
float
goodness!
up.
Yeah.
I gotta finish this. I can't quit laughing. Killing fish by poison, dynamite, or other explosives, not less than $50, nor more than $200, or imprisonment in county jail, not less than 20, nor more than 30 days, or both by fine and imprisonment.
Wow.
So if you're going to use dynamite to kill a fish, you could have a $50 to $200 fine, and you could spend 20 to 30 days. But it says not less than, but not more than 30 days.
Yeah, they have to put that. You always see that. It's not to exceed or minimum of,
Oh,
crazy.
goodness. This is to entrap net fish, excepting with the nets of not less than 3-inch mess and signs of not less than 4-inch mess for minnows. Fine not less than $25, nor more than $100. This from C.R. Fabian, Justice of the Peace, Precinct Number 1. So again, friends, in 1919, you better not kill the fish by poison, and you sure as heck better not dynamite them.
That's right.
We can do it today, though.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's
We don't
that's-
encourage you to do that.
No. Lake Georgetown never be the same if you throw a stick of dynamite.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
These are. I just love reading these because you hear the writing style back then.
You'll have to get clarification on that for me, though. Where do you even get a stick of dynamite?
I guess back then you just go to your local.
I think it's probably a
hardware
lot
store.
easier back then to get dynamite because they used it for a lot of different things. Now, because of the terrorism and all those kind of things, it's not that easy. So, if you got some dynamite at your lake house, you got some issues.
There's some other stuff here that's
Rob,
just,
I had some.
man.
While
Yeah,
you're
we'll
looking at
finish.
those, I had some fun
Finish
facts.
up, man.
I
We're
thought
about
the
to sign
coolest
off.
one that I found, and I think the women will appreciate this one. But listen to this: a woman. And it's just fun facts because Ken has his this day in history. So when I'm on, I told Rob, I said I'd like to just bring fun facts and not to take his stuff. I may have a couple, but I'm going to do fun facts. But I thought this was fun facts, and you can close up. Women will appreciate this. A woman who had lost her wedding ring in her garden 16 years prior found it on a growing carrot 16 years later.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is amazing. I thought that was
a hole in one of
that
nature.
is a hole in one. So she's out in her garden 16 years before, and somehow her wedding ring came off and she lost it. 16 years later, she's out there harvesting her carrots, and her wedding ring is growing on an upcoming carrot. That is crazy cool.
Found
So anyway,
something for you.
and I've got to have lots of stuff like that for you when Rob allows me to come on Fun Facts. But Rob, I know we got to go, and so man, thanks for letting me come on. As I say a few last words, can I talk about because I know we're,
Yeah, we got.
I'm
actually have about 5 more minutes.
I'm a nonprofit. Can I talk about a fundraiser that we're doing?
Yeah, you're nonprofit, man.
A nonprofit, and listen, here's what we want to help everybody, and we don't turn anybody away because of money, because of what they have and what they don't have. We're not about this recovery business about treatment center rehabs and being a money making machine. I scholarship 95% of the men that come. We're behind in our giving now for this quarter. My life has been through a big transformation, and I think it's caused people to be nervous about some things. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about with my family situation. But we need your help. We're behind. Lots of nonprofits are behind, though, for whatever reason. The government's made people nervous about their money, so we're behind. So we're running a fundraiser right now on Facebook, and we'd like to scholarship this group of men that we're coming through. We're doing real good. We're halfway there. So if you can go on and look at that and give, that's great. We're a 501c3. Absolutely tax deductible. Don't think we're struggling because we're paying our bills. God has never, ever, ever let us down. But we do need your support because we don't turn anybody away, and we do scholarship everybody. So you can also send in a tax deductible donation to Oak Ridge Ministries, P.O. Box 542, Florence, Texas 76527. Go on our Facebook fundraiser. You'll get a receipt immediately. If you just mail it to us, you'll get a giving statement at the end of the fiscal year. And we just need your help. Help us continue to help these men find freedom and help us get caught back up for this year. But I want to say this again. We are not in any way in any trouble. We're paying our bills. We just like to keep some cushion for emergencies, things like that. And we want to continue to help these men. So, Rob, thank you very much for letting me share our fundraiser.
You bet. More information about the Oak Ridge Disciple House online, of course, at Oak Ridge Disciple House. What a fun morning. Carl, thanks for being here, man. I'm glad. We were going to go to breakfast, and I said, you know what, Josh, you got time to go to breakfast with us, or you got to get on down there and get
I do have to get on.
He never hangs out after.
I do have to get on and get the rest of my day.
Yeah. He doesn't want to hang out with us.
I took you to lunch and the whole team just a few weeks ago.
No, that was Galen's birthday.
Well, Galen only turns 116 once.
Gosh.
No, I'm saying, Galen, I love you. You know that, but you're old as dirt.
Yeah, he's going to get
and he knows he.
He's definitely getting the rest of it. We love him.
He's getting the rest of it every day because he's got to, because today may be his last. No, that's late.
Come on, Josh. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to sign him off.
Galen,
no, we love him.
I love him.
Carl, good for you to be here, though, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for
usually when I'm on the air, I have something that gives me to talk about because all I do is look at something and then watch it. So no, it was fun though.
We just make up. Awesome. It's weird because Ken and I started this show about a year and a half ago, and it's funny how everything starts at Gumbo's. We started SHN at Gumbo's, really, Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny. That's
my first meeting with you was at Gumbo's.
Everything
for SHN.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Everything's Gumbo's, man.
Yeah.
And I remember Ken
and I. Great place too.
Ken was playing that night there, and a little bit of wine was involved. Only one glass. This was years ago, a year and a half ago. And I said, Ken, why don't we do a morning show on the radio? So there's a nonprofit community station here. The gentleman and his wife that run it are such nice people, and they want to have more interaction with the community on the radio station. And Ken and I agreed to do it. And it's been a year and a half, and it's been so much fun. But originally I was like, man, before every show, I'm going to write down all this stuff and have it all planned out. And here's what we're going to talk about. And it kind of turned into this, I don't know if you can get like a head format, I guess, because if we write stuff down, it's not as fun. Yeah. So Ken and I, we just start chatting about nothing, and it turns into something.
I love that, and it's always a fun show, man.
I mean, we do have a format where we talk about this day in history, we talk about events.
Sure.
But, as far as what we're going to talk about, we just start chatting, man, and it always works out.
It's just a great show, and I love listening to it every Wednesday morning when you guys are on, and I do hope that you get this thing going again on now that you kind of settled down with the playoffs and school's out and we can kind of enjoy the summer. Get this thing going again this summer. I know we would all really, really enjoy that.
Carl, it's like Steven Jackson used to say in one of his rap songs, while you're on your days off, I'm in the playoffs.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you ever hear that song?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
He said that in one of his rap. Former San Antonio Spurs band. He goes, when you on your days off, I'm in the playoffs.
Yeah, you better do that.
That's kind of funny.
On that note.
When you're 0-2, you're due.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, friends, again, thanks for joining us here on Radio Georgetown, 106.7 FM, KGTNLP Georgetown. Always our true joy, honor, and privilege to bring you Good Morning Georgetown, presented by the Oak Ridge Disciple House. One final time, if you or someone you know, 18 years or older, the Oak Ridge Disciple House, helping men 18 years and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know needs help, there is help. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Oak Ridge can help you find that light. Visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. This show also brought to you in part by Georgetown Jewelry. Ricky Poe, thank you for your support from everybody. Joshua, thank you for being here. Carl, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
It's been a lot of fun. We'll be back next Wednesday, 7 a.m. The old faithful broadcast in a box got us through this one. So
once again, if you need a great way to broadcast your media, this one never fails.
Yeah, never failed. Never. The other one did, the new one. So as far as the computer, but the broadcast in a box keeping us rolling here. So friends, one final time, thanks for joining us again. Good morning, Georgetown. I'm Rob Hipp for Karl Schoening and our special guest, Joshua Harris. Not Ken Covington, who is on vacation. Ken, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you joining us. Reminding you today, friends, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there today needs you. Good afternoon, and God bless Georgetown.
Good morning.
Live from SHN Sports Studio. We'll see you. Bye, Josh.
Bye, Rob. Thanks for having me, and good morning to you, sir.
Have a good day, everybody.